Yeah. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It's your boy Dave from Top Bunk Sports, and welcome to episode 10 of Knicks on Top. And I got a very special guest with me on the show. I consider this guy a very close friend, a mentor. He gives me a lot of advice. He checks up on me from time to time. That's what you need. You just need good people around you, man. People that are gonna, tell you what's real, and just give you advice and just help you throughout the way. He's helped me throughout the way from the start of therapy and sports. Shout out to everybody that knows about therapy and sports, and we built the relationship outside of that. So I want to welcome my guy I-95 Bully from the Two Way Podcast. My guy, how we doing? How we feeling?
We good, man. We good, man. It's good to be here. Knicks on top with Top Bunk Sports, man. Long time. I think this is our first stream that we've
First
done
time.
together.
Yeah, first time. Well, for those of you that haven't, my guy Bully's on a new podcast with my guy Mensa from Knicks Film School. Make sure you guys give him a follow. Make sure you guys follow Knicks Film School. Great stuff over there. A lot of good stuff. You want to talk about breaking down the game of basketball, breaking down the New York Knicks in a logical way. Please go check them out. But a lot of good dope content coming from that podcast. Again, it's not just sports, it's politics, it's everything else, man. They're very diverse. Culture. There's the one word that you could describe everything in one, and it's culture. It's very different, and that's what you want to see, right? You see a lot of different podcasts that not only talk about sports but in other things as well, but they're not very diverse. They don't get you off your feet, they don't get you excited, but this one does. So make sure you guys follow them. They're brand new, fresh in the game, and they're already making it big. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. The New York Knicks are up and down right now, and they recently just came off I wouldn't say satisfying win, but it was a disgusting win against the Dallas Mavericks. And again, they started the 3-game set, right? They started 2 games against Miami and then went on to Dallas. And the funny thing about this team is that this is a team that's projected to take over the Eastern Conference, right? They got a new coach in Mike Brown. They got rid of Tom Thibodeau, which I didn't think they would do, right? Because Tom Thibodeau is family of Leon Rose. They're comfortable with him. They seem 6 years in. It seems like the team understood his message, even though he had a ceiling. And I don't think Knicks fans really understood that when it came to Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is only going to get you as far as he can. He could never get over the hump as a head coach and get to an NBA Finals. Remember, he's only gotten to an NBA Finals twice. That's with the Boston Celtics with Doc Rivers in 2008, and then in 2009 as an assistant coach under the Orlando Magic. But he's under an assistant coach. He has never got to the NBA Finals as a head coach. The Knicks thought after year 6 that it was time for a change, and Mike Brown was that answer. So my first question to you, Bully, is under 2 months so far, or a month, you could say, right? Because it's only been a month. How do you feel about Mike Brown? What is your pros and cons about him so far?
I'm satisfied. If I had to give it a letter grade, I'd probably give it a B, a solid B, maybe a B plus. As far as cons, honestly, I don't see too many yet, because I think a lot of the cons are going to come from the roster.
Okay.
I think that's where the cons are going to come from. It's going to be based on the roster that he has. And you hear a lot of people saying, well, he's played the kids more, this and that. I don't believe in that right now.
Right.
Pros. I mean, if you look at this offense, I mean, you talked about the game against Dallas. A lot of people were upset with the win in Dallas. But to me, I look at it as if the Knicks hit their free throws, the Knicks win the game by 10.
Right.
They missed what, 10 over 10 free throws that game. On a normal night, they're going to hit those free throws. So normally they would win that game, by double digit margins. I'm going into the game. I'm against Dallas. Knicks were minus 8.5 on FanDuel. So like it was there for them to take it, but they missed some shots. So I'm not too down on that. And as far as Mike Brown, what's interesting, I saw someone say something or post something saying the Knicks are taking too many threes. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because if you look at it, I have it up here now, and this is per cleaningtheglass.com. The Knicks are fifth in the league in 3-point attempts, excluding garbage time. It's at 43.4% of their shots are three pointers. Top of the league is Golden State. Of course, they have Curry. When you have someone like Curry, you're going to be up there with three pointers. And then you look at number two, you have Cleveland coming in at 45.9, so 46% of their shots are threes. The problem is the Knicks aren't making enough of their threes right now. You could look at a few players that are not hitting their threes. Look at Karl Anthony Towns. Um, Hopefully, I'm not going too far ahead. Let me know if you need me to pump the brakes a little
No,
bit.
no, you're good. You're good.
So if you
You're
look
good.
at Anthony Towns, this summer, uh, Mike Brown harp on getting up the court, getting to the corners. A lot of players are getting to the corners except for Karl Anthony Towns. He's still shooting the same amount of corner threes as he did, throughout his career. So that's
Right.
one thing that's kind of I want to see some bendability there from Cat. Like he's gonna have to bend a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's just missing shots. Like he's shooting. I can look it up for you now, but he's shooting what 30% from three, thirty
Which is
percent from three.
right. Which
Like
is his lowest, the lowest in his career.
yeah, so like we know like that number is gonna come up just based off of
Right.
averages.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yes, I'm looking at it right now. He's shooting 31% from three. Nobody thinks that that's going to hold. I'm
Right.
pretty sure he's going to be around 40%. So that's an additional 9%. So as far as, to your original question in regards to Mike Brown, I think he's doing what he was brought here to do. Like
Right.
we don't see Brunson working. Look at Mikal Bridges, 4, 5, 6 assists a game. Like that's kind of like what we need. And shout out to my guy Mensa, who calls Mikal Bridges our Chris Middleton. And it's like,
Okay.
yeah, that's a bar, right? But it's
No, that
like,
is a bar because I would have never thought of that comparison.
yeah, and it's like you're starting to see like the vision. There's still a lot of work to be
Mhm.
done, but the vision is slowly coming together.
Right. The more interesting thing for me is that you could see the difference day and night between Tom Thibodeau and Mike Brown. Tom Thibodeau was never a guy that wanted to do this back and forth, back and forth. It was a guy that he wanted to play slow pace offense, try to move the ball a little bit, get in your right spots, and find the open man. Mike Brown wants to get the offense going quickly to disrupt the defense so they don't set in and score right away. And you're seeing it day and night. The thing with me is this, and this is a positive take. I like the fact that they're not relying on Jalen Brunson a lot to bring up the ball. They're letting him play off ball, which now you're having Mikhail probably bring up the ball. Maybe it's Deuce when he's coming in as your sixth man. I've seen OG bring up the ball from the inbounds. I've seen just very different looks. And the fact that you're seeing that is not, it's like now you're seeing different guys bring up the ball, and now not everybody has to switch, and it messes up the defense a lot of the times. If you look at the numbers from the Mavericks game, again, it's not gonna look as great as it should have been. And I think this right here, I think when we were talking about it before, right? They took they made 16 threes out of 44 attempts, 36%, and they're relying on the three ball most of the time to kind of get them going. And the one thing that you bring up about Cat too is, again, Cat doesn't have a bag. Let's be honest. He don't have a bag. He can't post up. So he relies too much on a three ball, and it hurts him because he's not a good defender either. So it's not like he really can't switch to a different side of his game. He can only rely on one part of his game. And I think that's what hurts him. Again, he shoots the ball at a very efficient rate, but when he can't make shots, there's nothing else for him to do. This is why you see him kind of struggle early, because he relies on a three-point shot. If his three-point shot isn't going early, there's nothing he could do. Again, you go back to the first Miami game, right? At home, he was making threes automatically. His first shot was a three. After he kept making his threes, that's all he was doing. He was making his threes, and then he found his way to get to the basket a little bit. But his shot needs to be comfortable. If his shot's not falling, there's no way for him to adjust. My second question to you is this: defensively, what do you think this team can fix that can help them better? Because honestly, I don't really see much, but there's the only thing that I could possibly say is their 3-point defense. Is the guarding the 3-point line. They absolutely suck guarding the 3-point line. So, is there anything else defensively that you think that this team can do to be better on that side of the ball?
It's going to be hard to be better on that side of the ball when you have Jalen Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns.
Right,
Um,
right,
the way to be, because here's the thing, like talking about Cat and everyone, there's so much angst involving his defense. But end of the day, this guy's been in the league 10 years, 10, 11
right,
years. Like
right,
he is who he is. Like in my opinion, he's not getting any better on defense. There's not too many
right.
guys a decade into the league where they're going to get better on defense. So the way the team gets better is Mitchell Robinson. Like that's unfortunately like that's the answer to get better on defense. And you mentioned those 3-point shots. I think like it's gonna happen. Like you're gonna give up some threes, and I think like that's okay. The thing is, you got to hit your threes, and you had the yeah, you got to have it up. Knicks were 16 of 44 from 3-point range, and people say, "Oh, they missed a ton of threes," but at the end of the day, 36% is league average. So if you hit a couple more, like you're right there. So usually like league average is between like 35, 36%, pushing 37. So like
I wanna
they
I wanna
were
stop you right there real quick. I made a mistake. They were 12 of 42. 16 of 44 was Dallas. So
oh
the Knicks were 12 of 42, right?
yeah, so the 12 of 42 and they were at 30%, so slightly below league average and the free throw attempts as well. They
Right,
shot like crap from the free throw line. But
right.
as far as the defense, it's literally just going to come down to Mitchell Robinson. Like I don't see much getting better, but if you go back last year, Knicks versus Celtics games 1 and game 2 in Boston, you watch the last 3 minutes of each of those games, the last 6 minutes of the game.
Mhm, mhm.
Look at the defense that Jalen Brunson played in isolation when he got matched up on Jalen Brown and Tatum. So to me, it's you don't have to be good defensively all the time. You
Right,
don't. You can be
right.
average on defense as long as you're gangbusters on offense. So to me, the way to mask the defense is you got to score more, and you need Mitchell Robinson. And you mentioned him like OG Anunoby, like before he got hurt, if the season was 2 weeks long or 3 weeks long, he'd be all defense. Not
Mhm.
defensive player of the year, I don't think, but he's looking like a first team all defensive player. So to
Right.
me, the defense is going to come down to those two players specifically. But if you're the Knicks, what are we in this for now? Championship. You're talking about defense. I'm looking at someone like Jordan Clarkson. Like, if you're talking about, we're gonna have to go against the Thunder in the finals. Wishful thinking, I know it's far away,
Right.
but you look at those teams that have bigger, stockier, more muscular guards. Is someone like Jordan Clarkson going to be able to cut it? I'm not sure yet. Like I'm still not sure. But short answer to the question, Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby is the only way to help this defense. I don't think there's any fixing it, but you could definitely help it.
Here's a question about Mitch, and this kind of goes back to 2 years ago when he was talked about being moved. Is there somebody do you think that can move that you can move Mitch to get somebody better to help defensively, or do you think Mitch is that guy for the Knicks right now to spark something defensively?
Mitch is that guy when he's healthy.
Okay.
If Mitch is healthy, Mitch is that guy. Like
Hmm.
you look at like what he's able to and he helps offensively as well. I know he's not a spacer, but this guy does have rim gravity. But there is no other guy. Like I'm thinking around the league. I saw some stuff today floating around about Anthony Davis, but it's like, do you want to spend Anthony Davis money and give up what it takes
Yeah,
to get
no.
an Anthony Davis and another guy who's often injured as well? So it's like load manage Mitch, just keep him safe, keep him in bubble wrap. But no, I don't think there's another center that you would rather have defensively for what this team needs specifically, where you have, when Cat is on the floor at the 4, Cat is guarding the perimeter.
Right.
He's so like you need a Mitch as the backstop.
Yeah, I mean, think the key thing for me too is we spoke about. I mean, yeah, Mitch I think is key, but I also think getting Mikal Bridges going is really key for this team. What he does on both ends of the floor is really really key, especially because you get him going, you get his scoring, you get his mid range scoring, you get his defense, and him being able to again be an extra ball handler that could bring up the ball up the court and be able to space the floor, find his guys whenever he needs to. He likes to cut. If you just watch him slowly, just watch him by himself, he loves to move around the court. See, Tom Thibodeau had him stand in one spot. Now Mike Brown has him cutting back door, giving off ball screens, and just finding his rhythm. And I think that was the difference from Mikal Bridges. Another thing that I wanted to ask you is this. If you look at the way Mike Brown, the message that Mike Brown is preaching, like I said, he wants everybody to play fast. He wants everybody to play together. What is it about Mike Brown? If you could compare Mike Brown, and I hate going back to Tom Thibodeau, but there's a clear difference to where you have to discuss it because all we've known with this regime is Tom Thibodeau. So between Mike and Tom Thibodeau, what do you think is the major difference from last year's team and from this year's team? With again, the only switch that they've made was bring in a six man of the year in Jordan Clarkson and bring in a new head coach.
Well, I think because you kind of touched on it a little bit in regards to Mikal Bridges. You would think, he gave you what, 7 steals
Yeah,
last Friday, then he
right,
gave you 4 more Sunday or Monday,
right,
whichever day it was. And then you saw him driving, he's dunking on people now. But you would think this is a guy he has a ton of usage. No, Mikal Bridges, his usage rate is 16%. That's not high. So I'll just go through them if you don't mind. Really quick.
right,
You
right,
got Jalen Brunson is at a 33 usage rate. It's a bit high, but a player of his caliber, a top 10 offensive player in the league, is kind of where he should be. You got Karl Anthony Towns at a 26 usage rate.
right,
It's where it should be. But everything after that is spread out. You got Bridges, 16%. OG Ananobi, 18 usage. Josh Hart, 17 usage. And then this is the answer to your question. Landry Shamet,
right. That's
13%
another one.
usage rate.
Mhm.
Like, this guy was glued to the bench. This guy got the last roster spot. And you see everything on this court, it's looking so open. And it's interesting. I'm gonna find it for you. If you give me a minute, I'll find this play for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's so much off-ball movement. Like, even when like someone's setting, like if you watch a game, which I'm sure if you're watching this podcast, this show, you are watching the games. But if you look at when they're setting a high pick and roll or a high screen at the top of the key, usually it's Brunson has the ball or Bridges has the ball, and one of the bigs are coming up to set a screen. Usually it's Yabu, you got Mitch, you got Cat, but as soon as that screen is set, that's when you have someone else coming over, rotating, someone cutting. There's not as much ball watching. I mean, in the game against Dallas, there was some ball watching, maybe like the last, few minutes of the game, but it's crunch time. Like, in that time, you're going to go to your guys, and people gonna have to sit and watch. The one criticism that I do have, if you watch the past few games, when Jalen Brunson's in the game, Josh Hart setting a lot of screens. Like that Dallas game, look at that crunch time. Josh
Mhm.
Hart was setting a lot of screens. And I'm like, this kind of looks like a Tibbs offense where you had Cat playing a spacer in the corner. I didn't enjoy that too much, but I do have the play. Are you okay if I share the
Yes.
screen?
Go right ahead. Of course.
So
Absolutely.
I have two plays up here.
Mhm.
Just if you want to filibuster just for a second.
Mhm.
Here we go. So I got two plays here. Let me just get them up so we can share it. Tell you guys, this how you know this is live podcasting right here. You gotta wait for me to share a screen. But here we go.
Let's get it
And
right
you
here.
have to add it up.
Yes, sir. All right, got you right now. Here we go.
So I got 2 plays here that we posted over on Project Arc Sports. So if you look at this play, then you're gonna have Brunson come over. Brunson's gonna set like an off-ball screen for Landry Shamet, and then Yabu's gonna set another screen to free up Shamet. Like little plays like this, we were not seeing this last year. Let
Right.
me see. I can actually slow this down a little bit.
Go ahead. Yeah.
John Yabu silly checks into the game, as does Josh Hart. Shaman off the dribble handoff.
We weren't getting a lot of that, and I got one more to show you like how much pace and space these guys are trying to play with. And this one, I'm gonna leave this one at the full speed. And what I've noticed is you're getting 2 dribbles, and people say, "Oh, get into the paint, a spray 3." There's so much more involved in this offense than just spray 3s and paint touches. In this play, you're gonna see a paint touch that doesn't lead to a 3, it leads to a little floater from Brunson.
Right.
And mind you, 2 dribbles, get off of the ball.
I think we're going to get right.
1, 2, off.
So bang. Yep. Floater.
After only playing 6
2 dribbles.
Fast. 1, 2. Bang.
Yeah, I'm gonna
2
slow
feet.
it.
So if you see it right there, this is a lot of, again, if you're noticing, they're playing off. They're literally playing off 2 feet.
Yeah,
And
so
that's kind of what I teach my kids when I'm coaching. If you're playing off 2 feet and you're not taking so much dribble, it helps you because now what you're doing is you have the strength from your feet to just go up and put a shot up instead of trying to dribble so much. And now you're confused. You don't have time to put up the ball up. So it playing off 2 feet is key.
watch, you're gonna get 2 dribbles in a pass from each guy that touched the ball in the half court.
Consistently after only playing
2 dribbles.
games last year together.
Bang.
This is the kind of team that we think we're going to get, right?
1, 2.
Defense and offensive team.
A lot of stuff because you asked like what's like different about the offense. That's it, where you're getting guys that are making quick decisions and a lot of movement. And when you're able to play like that, it masks some of those deficiencies that someone like a Josh Hart has. Like you notice, nobody's complaining about, oh, Josh Hart is out there. There's no spacing. Josh Hart and Mitch, there's no spacing. That doesn't exist within an offense like this. And then also, like what it allows you to do is, who's the backup point guard for the Knicks right now? There is no designated backup point guard.
It could have been Kolik, but Kolik is not playing.
but the question, but the question I'll ask you, is it needed? Like, do you need a backup point guard?
No, honestly, no, you don't. No, you really don't.
Right.
When you got certain guys bringing up the ball and really being the chain of command in terms of the offense, you really don't.
You don't. So like, and to me, like that's the important thing that's going on. Where if you look at a team like OKC, like if you're someone who places parlays or you bet, it's so hard to place bets with OKC because you don't know who's going off that night. Like you just don't know. And like that's the beauty of it, is we're like, you don't know what's going to happen with the offense. It's so much more unpredictable. So like to me, like that's the biggest difference this year so far.
Right. No, 100%. And you know what? It's refreshing at that. And I hate to be one of those negative people, but it is refreshing. It especially after what we saw in the Eastern Conference Finals against Indiana. It was one of those things where it was like, if your 2 main guys aren't scoring, again, they didn't really have much OG Anunoby because he got hurt. So then when your two guys are not scoring, you're not getting anything out of anybody else. I think if we would have had Mike Brown last year, you would have had many different looks. And I think with Josh, the funny thing about Josh is he frustrated me in the game against Dallas because he looked lost. Now, there were moments where, he was wide open in the corner and he hit a couple threes or whatever, but his decision-making at times, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you really sit there and you're like, what are you doing?
Yo, can I give you a hot take?
Yeah, go ahead.
Josh Hart's going to finish top 5 in 6th man of the year.
You think so?
Yeah. Like if you got a guy coming off the bench that can give you 14, 8, and 4, and impact the ball, the 50-50 balls, like, or just on the Knicks, like everyone was like, oh, Deuce is the sixth man. And I'm like, no, like Deuce is a seventh man.
Right.
Sometimes he's the eighth man. Like I love Deuce. He's great. But if you look at consistency, how can it not be Josh Hart?
Right.
Like how can it
Right.
not be
Right.
Josh Hart? At least on our team. But I do think he's going to finish like maybe top 7 for
Okay.
sixth man of the year. But look at the production. Like he's shooting what 33% from three. He's giving you you're still getting the rebounds, you're still getting the assist, you're still getting the points, and the team is winning.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think Deuce could be that guy?
No, like
No.
he hasn't proven it.
Right.
Like I mean, because if you're gonna have a sixth man of the year, like you need production, not 9 points a game. Like I get it. He's shooting 40% from three or 38% from three. He's giving you the on-ball defense, but six man, like you need production. And you look at some of these games, Deuce is not the sixth man. He's not the seventh man. Sometimes he's the eighth man. Like when OG Anunoby comes back,
Right.
Shamit goes to the bench. Like we know that Mike Brown likes Shamit.
A
Mike
lot.
Brown,
A
Mike Brown's
lot.
gonna play
Yeah.
Josh Hart. Where does Deuce go?
Right.
Does Deuce become your eighth man? You're like you still have Jordan Clarkson for now. Like so it's like what is Deuce? Like he's a 3-and-D wing. Like that's what he and like that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not me discouraging him or putting him down. But you look at what the coach is doing. Like Deuce is not the sixth man or the seventh man right now. When OG comes back, I think he starts down a little bit further.
Do you if you're Mike Brown once, because obviously again he's sticking with Shamit until OG comes back.
Yeah.
Do you have Shamit come in as your sixth man to see how that works because he's been scoring the ball efficiently as of late?
I think it depends. Like if Mitch is here, if on the days that Mitch plays,
Mm-hmm.
who's the sixth man on those days versus who's the sixth man when Mitch is out. When Mitch is out, you need Josh Hart to be your sixth man because you need that physicality, you need that rebounding. That unfortunately we're not getting it from Yabu right now.
Right.
So like you kind of need Josh Hart to be that guy. So I still think Shamit's going to be your seventh man. I think I shouldn't speak in absolutes, but I think it's going to come down to Clarkson and Shamit, who's going to be the seventh guy. So,
That's damn.
well, you
Imagine
could
if we
take
would have.
the thing off, bro, if you want. I didn't realize
Oh
what
no,
was
no, you're good. No worries, no worries. The funny thing about it is too is I can only imagine if we would have had Mike Brown last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who knows? Who knows what would have
like
happened?
I
Like I hate putting those hypotheticals, but you start to think because, like I said, a lot of Knicks fans don't talk about it because they don't make the comparisons a lot. There's a way more there's a way difference from Tom Thibodeau style of coaching and Mike Brown's type of coaching. Mike Brown's type of coaching is now. It's in today's NBA. Tom Thibodeau is still leaning towards the past
you
of the
really don't like
NBA.
Tibbs.
No, I don't. I can't listen. For everybody watching, Bully knows since 2023, I've wanted Tibbs gone. But I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt because we kept making the playoffs. I said, listen,
Mhm.
if you make the playoffs, all right, cool. They weren't gonna fire him. At some point, they were I didn't think they were gonna let him go at all. I said
Really?
this was the first time we made the Eastern Conference Finals under him. I thought they were gonna give him another chance to be like, okay, do it again and see if you can make the finals. But the fact that they saw that and they were like, nah, we didn't like what we saw in the Eastern Conference Finals. We need something more fresh. Go.
And you know who really didn't like it? James
Brunson?
Dolan.
Oh, Dolan. Okay, okay.
Like
Okay.
it's funny. Like I tell people, like don't forget who the owner is.
Right.
Like yeah,
People
like
forget, right, right.
he's cool. He's been cool. He's out there kissing babies, signing basketballs,
Right,
but like
right.
this guy wants to win. And
Right.
like for him to be involved in like the exit interviews, like that lets you know that even he's like, hey, we might need to make a change. But I think like
Something's gotta
Tibbs,
go.
man,
Right.
like if you go through the tenure, you know, you go through the We Here year, which that year was an outlier. They got killed by Atlanta, but like that was a weird season. And then you look at the next year, what happened? Missed the playoffs, missed the play in. And the next year you bring in Brunson, you beat Cleveland. Were we really gonna beat, Miami?
I thought
And
so. I honestly thought so. I said it wasn't until I really understood the significance of Randall's injury where then I look back, I said, you know what? If our best player's out and Jalen Brunson has to be the source of offense, Spo's gonna expose that.
well,
Because here's the thing. You couldn't get nothing out of RJ Barrett. That was my frustration. If Randall goes out and RJ Barrett can be that second option, I think we would have had a better chance. But the
well,
fact that you couldn't get much out of RJ Barrett, and I don't care what anybody says, Randall wasn't 100%.
yeah.
Like people tend to be like, oh, well, he played, so it doesn't matter. No, it does matter because he wasn't playing at 100%.
Well, I tell people this, like in that Miami series, like go look at Game 5. Randall, RJ, like they showed up. You
Yeah,
go look at Game 6. I think RJ shot 3 of 14. I think Randall shot like 2 of 12. Like
right,
they had putrid games in Game 6 where it was literally Brunson or bust.
right.
But you know, Game 5, Brunson had like 38. Game 6, he had like 42 or something like that. So it was like
Mhm.
it was Brunson or bust. And in that series, don't forget, like Quickly got hurt. You didn't have any Quickly.
Yep.
And then speaking of your boy Tibbs, there were some lineup concerns with, starting Grimes or starting Hart. Like that happened in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then, you also had Tibbs was guarding Jimmy Butler like he was prime Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you go to the next year where to me that was another year that was an outlier where you had all these injuries and like the team just ran out of gas. Like just ran out of gas. And then you go to the next year where you have, you're bringing in 2 new players, not enough time to really put in an offensive system. And so I think Tibbs, he did his job. So it's like I have a hard time like crapping on the guy because he came in and he did his job. He changed the culture.
Right.
Like,
He reached that ceiling is what I mentioned in the beginning. He reached that point to where it's like, all right, you got us to relevancy, you got us to a certain spot. We feel like we need somebody more into what this NBA is now compared to what you're still trying to coach on. And it's not really there. There's not a lot of the only coach that I could possibly think that still coaches like Tibbs is Doc Rivers. And we know how we feel about Doc. I don't like Doc.
I don't know, man. Like I like the offense, like you look at Tibbs' last couple of years, the Knicks had like a top 10 offense or top whatever offense. I think the problem was like in the playoffs where like teams really hunker down defensively.
Mhm.
And then you had no outlet where you got, especially against the Pacers, where you had Brunson like those first couple games just getting crushed trying to bring the ball up the court. And then you decide to go, hey, I have DeLon Wright. Oh, there's Landry Shaman. And it's like, yeah, these guys were on the team the whole year.
It
And now
weren't
you're
meant, yeah.
putting them in a position to fail where it's like, hey, we're going to do something we haven't done all year. And that's the biggest difference between Mike Brown now and Tibbs the past few years. Like, at least we know Mike Brown's going to try everything. Like,
Right,
if it
right,
doesn't work, it doesn't work, but he's going to experiment and try everything.
right. Do you think under Mike Brown's tutelage, do you think we could see a better cat than what we saw last year?
Cat had one of the best seasons of his career last year.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be tough to top that season, but I think, like personally, I don't want Cat to have a better year. Like you could have the same year, but I
Right,
need somebody else to have. I need like Bridges to have a better year, or OG to have a better year. I think Cat has been fine. Like he's just been missing shots, and like I'm okay with that. But in terms of better, I would say he could be more efficient. I definitely do believe that he could be more efficient. From what we've seen this year so far, and as far as better, what I would ask of Cat is be a better passer. Like
right.
you make and you miss shots. Like it is what it is. But I noticed like with this year so far with Cat, like he's averaging what 4 assists. I
Right.
think he could get up to like 4.5, 5 a game. But the problem is like comparing. I hate to keep going back to previous players, but you compare him to Randall. They
Mhm.
both can average 5 assists a game easy. But the difference with Cat is his passing is more stationary passing off of 2 feet. Whereas, you had someone like Randall who could, dribble, drive, pass, kick out. That's not really, Cat's game. To me, Cat is a similar passer to Hartenstein, where he's looking at the floor, surveying, and then making those crazy passes, overhand passes. So I would love to see Cat be a better passer. As far as scoring, like, I'm not worried about that. Just be a better passer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it though, even last
Hmm.
year. How well was he facilitating the ball at the top of the key? Now,
Yeah.
him being at the top of the key was also it was a 50-50 because that's where he always was. He was always there. He was never moving. He was always at the top of the key.
Hmm.
So at times it did work, at times it didn't work, but you want to see him facilitate a little bit more, just because you know that he could get his teammates involved. He could find guys cutting. He's a very good passer for a center. Um, the one thing that I do realize with this team now is that, like I said, I feel like besides them playing off ball and it's not just one guy bringing up the ball, another thing too is that they, like I said, they rely on their three, and that fast pace is something that they still, you could tell that they're still trying to gel with. It's
Yeah.
something that they're still trying to get used to. I think, speaking of Cat, I think that's where you could kind of see a little bit of his frustration because he was so used to, even you watch the Timberwolves, Chris Finch is the same way.
Yeah.
Chris Finch just plays he plays through one guy, but it's slow offense. It's very different, and you could kind of see Cat still trying to get used to it, still trying to find his momentum in that. Um, I
But
think they'll get it.
it's always tougher for the bigs when they have to adjust to a different offense. Like the bigs, like even, look at Yabu,
Right,
like so it's usually tougher for the bigs, except for like if you're someone like Mitch, where you're gonna have the same job and same role regardless of what the system is. I think
right.
like it's a challenge for Cat, but I think it's healthy. I think it should be.
Yeah, I mean, we'll check. We will definitely see how tomorrow plays
Yeah,
out. Speaking about tomorrow,
you see this poster right there?
yeah.
I got the poster. It's Brunson, RJ, Randall, Mitch. And I said, I'm gonna keep this poster until all of them are gone except for Brunson. And like each year, like I got that poster like back in like 2023. It was like a garden giveaway.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
I kept it up and I'm like, I'm wondering who's gonna be here when the Knicks win the championship. It's like I kept it up for that.
Seems to be Brunson. Brunson. I mean, of course, Brunson's your captain. Brunson's your star player. It's cool to see that. I mean, I was just having a moment when we played Dallas, and I was like, damn, I remember when he was the second option on Dallas. It was him and Luca,
Yo,
and now I got the same one. I got the
yeah,
same.
I
I
still
got
got
the
all my stuff,
same
man.
jersey.
Yeah,
I was getting laughed at. They said
yeah,
you wearing a Julius Randle jersey. I'm like, you not realize Julius Randle came here where nobody wanted to come here.
yeah.
I gotta give the brother his props.
Yeah,
He
who
came here
which
where nobody
jersey
wanted
would
to
you
come here.
buy? Like if you had to buy a jersey today, who you buying
As of right now, like on
right
whoever's on the
now?
scene.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got Brunson's. I got Cats. So
So let's say you didn't have a jersey.
okay. It would
Whose
be
jersey
Brunson.
you buy? Be
It
Brunson?
definitely would be Brunson. Yeah, I have to. I gotta at least show the captain love first before I. But I bought Cats because people don't understand because I don't really talk about it that much. But I've had a respect for Cat since he got drafted.
Hmm.
Man, this is the number one draft. This is the number one pick in the 2015 draft. He's a Dominican basketball player, so it kind of holds close to home a little bit because Al Horford wasn't even number one, wasn't the first pick in his draft, and he's Dominican. So to have a Dominican kid come from Kentucky, be drafted number one, be the number one pick, to be the star player in Minnesota, and I had purposely bought League Pass just to watch him,
Mm.
just to see his growth. To then now we're saying like, yo, it would kind of be cool to have Cat on the Knicks one day, whatever. But I was still declining it because Randall kind of resurged. So I was like, I have Randall. Like, I'm not gonna trade for
Yeah.
Cat. But then once they did the trade, I didn't know how to feel because I was like, yo, hold up. Y'all just traded Randall when Randall was actually doing pretty good for Cat. It's like, how does that even
But you know, with that trade, man, I think there were so many other factors involved besides because you figured this, right? The Knicks had no center.
Mitch
'Cause
was
remember,
hurt?
Mitch was hurt. You had
Right.
Randall coming up on the contract, so it was like a perfect storm to make a trade like that. So
Right. And I think for me, the thing is too is this isn't it's not like this is a guy that hasn't been linked to the Knicks. He's been linked to the Knicks for 2
for a
years.
while, yeah,
Dude, he's been every rumor that they put out there was, yo, the Knicks are interested, or the Knicks are looking into Cat. So when it happened, it wasn't like Cat out of all people. It was more like, yo, they actually got their guy. Like they pulled it off. My thing was they did it at a time where, of course, you tip your cap to them because they got to be aggressive, and they had to make a type of move like that. But I didn't think they were gonna let go of the Julius Randle train. I thought they were.
really.
I didn't think so because of the fact that he found his way to be consistent enough to get the Knicks to be that number one or number two option next to Brunson. I thought they were just gonna ride that out. I thought they were just gonna be like, let's see how far these guys can get us if they can stay healthy. But I think that Mitch injury just hurt them because they didn't have any other options. See, if they
Well,
would
it
have had a
was
Hartenstein, they could have been like, all right, cool, we'll ride it with Hartenstein. But the fact
that
that they couldn't pay him, it was like, yeah, we're screwed.
that's to me that's what changed the entire trajectory of the team
It was
was
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like, man, if we kept Hartenstein, we would still have the gang together.
Yeah.
They
And
would all still be here.
I remember Eddie basically saying right before, like, I would say like maybe a couple days before the offseason started, he was like, dude, OKC is gonna be like the number one team to go get him, right? And I was laughing. I was like, nah, the Knicks are gonna pay him. He was like, dude, if OKC blows him out the water, he's not staying. What
Yeah,
happened? Literally,
yeah.
I texted him that same day it came out. I was like, yep, you're right. He was like, I told you. He was like, OKC needed a center. They didn't have a
Mm,
center.
that's kind of like where I don't think they
I didn't
needed.
know who their center was before that. So when he said that, I was like, okay, I see what you're saying.
I think that's a part of it. But if you look at OKC, right, that was the last year they were going to have cap space.
Hmm.
So now, and that's why they front loaded that contract.
Right.
So now, if you're Presti and you want to make a big move, but you have to have the salary, whose salary are they going to use in a big trade if they have to make a huge trade?
His salary.
Hardenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like it served like two needs at the same time. We're like, now we have all these picks and we have a tradable salary slot, but he's also going to help our team now. It's like to me, like them, like they could have paid Hartenstein $200 million, whatever. Just pay the guy, get him in here. He's an asset, trade asset, and a player asset. So like that, I thought it was a great move. Like it
Right.
serves two needs.
Right. Do you think well, we'll get off the Knicks train a little bit. OKC this year. Do you think they stay pat, or do you think they try to make a move to try to get somebody else like or matter of fact, here, I got a better question for you. Because I think OKC can stay pat, and I think they can still win another chip just like that.
Hmm.
If the Knicks come trade deadline, there's one kid that I was actually thinking about because I was having a discussion with somebody in the Knicks group chat. Josh Giddey. You think the Knicks will make a move for him?
Where's
Or,
he going
or
to play?
right. Well, it depends
That
on who you give up in terms of the Knicks side.
like if you're the Knicks, like, are you going to give up one of your starters for Josh Giddey?
Right, right, right.
Like,
Because
like
he's a
you,
starter in Chicago.
like
So
like
you
you just paid Bridges. You gave up five
right,
picks last year. You just gave him a contract, so he's not going anywhere. You
right.
look at OG. You're not giving
You
up OG
you
for
just
him.
paid him.
You're not giving
Right,
up Cat for him.
right,
They have. Do they have a need for Mitch? I don't think so. They have a Dollar General, a Timu version of Cat
right,
and
right.
Vucevic.
And Vucevic, right,
So it's like, where's he gonna play? So
right,
like, I don't think so. I don't think that would no, I don't see it's not that Josh Giddey isn't a good player. but he's too good of a player for the role that we would give him.
Right.
So,
Right.
and did he just get paid? Giddy?
I think he did. I think Chicago paid him.
Yeah,
I think Chicago paid. I'm about to check that up myself. Because that's a good question. I don't think OKC extended him.
yeah, he signed a 4-year, $100 million contract.
Yep, with Chicago, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's like, that's $25 million. So if you're looking at trading him, that means you're probably giving up who, Hart?
That would be the number one
I'm
option,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
as
Yeah.
far as the
Right.
money, you
Right.
probably look.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not giving up, like, I like the kid,
Right.
but and he likes kids too. But like, I'm not giving up. You caught that, right? Yeah, like I'm not giving him up, man. I'm not giving up Josh Hart
I
for
guess.
him. But
I guess
like,
Chicago took that in. Chicago don't care about that. I guess.
yeah, and but to answer your question, like, as far as trades, I'm looking at Yabu and Clarkson, like, because everyone says like this is the team. I'm like, the Knicks are right there to winning a championship. Like, we're right there. We don't owe it to anyone. Like, there is no more. Give it a year, give it a season. Just wait. It's his first year here. Like, no, Clarkson, you're here on a minimum. Yabu, you're here what, 8 mil a year, 2 years on the whatever
Mhm.
thing that he used to sign. And it's like,
Mhm.
if you're not cutting it by trade deadline, if there's a deal to be had, like, you're out of here.
Yeah.
And speaking
Right.
of trades, shout out to my guy Mensa again. Like, he mentioned for like this year, he's been mentioning it for years now. Like, Tari Eason for Deuce, like, it
Ooh.
makes, like, and you can do it straight up
Mm.
where you
Mm.
get a bigger body, like. And I know it sucks. We say, "Oh, you want to trade Deuce, this and that," and it's like, no, but like, if an opportunity presents itself, like, you gotta listen. Like, you
Would you
gotta
do it?
listen.
Would you do it?
It depends on what how much money Deuce wants. Because like this is a contract year for Deuce. He's extension
Yeah.
eligible. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there's that part of it as well. It's not just like on the court. I probably wouldn't. Like, if I'm gonna move Deuce, I need something like surefire back. But the problem is Deuce gets paid so little. So it's like, only way you get something back for Deuce is if you're throwing more salary to him. And that's when someone like a Yabu comes in. Like, what could you get for like Yabu and Deuce?
Would
I don't
you
know.
you think a GG Jackson from Memphis would work? You're talking about a guard who's bigger, who's a better defender, who can shoot not as good as Deuce, but can still shoot. Like I said, has size to him, and that's a little. It's a solid, a much. I wouldn't slightly better defender than Deuce. Would you do that?
Oh,
If I had to, I would, just because of the size. He's more of a wing per se.
like if they were to do that, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I
Let
wouldn't
me
either.
let me take a
I
look
got
back
you
here.
with that one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it the other yesterday because I gotta find the tweet. I saw somebody put that. I saw somebody put that.
I'm gonna real quick. Why isn't this website working?
I saw somebody put that. GG Jackson is a hell of a player. He's getting disrespected in Memphis right now, and it's unfortunate to see. It really is.
Cleaning the glasses down right now. Website's down. But that's an interesting one. Like, that's one I'm gonna have to chew on a little bit. But
Right. Right.
that's a good one. But that's the point. Like nobody's safe. Like
No. No.
nobody is safe right now, and it shouldn't be. Like, when you try to compete for a chip, like, that's why, like, a lot of Knicks is, oh, I'm not trading this guy. Bring Dante back. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. And it's like, yo, like, we are so close, and the Knicks could win a championship with this team. We don't know. We
Right.
don't know.
Right.
But it's like, if Yabu's playing like this in January, February, around All-Star break, is there a deal to be had?
Right.
That's what like. If there's a deal to be had and he's playing like this, we don't owe him another 3 months, 4 months to figure it out. Like this
Right.
guy's
Right.
barely in the rotation as it is. And like the best compliment I could give him is against Dallas. I didn't notice him. Like that's not a good thing.
Right. Right.
Like I want to notice you doing good things. I want to notice you hitting a corner three. If maybe that's kind of what you were brought here to do. But if you're not doing the job you were brought here to do, you look at Jordan Clarkson against Dallas. You know how many points he had in the first half of that game? 5.
I got 5.
You know
Right.
how much he finished with that game? 7. And it's like, dude, like we brought you here to get buckets.
Hmm.
Like you're supposed to be our certified bucket getter. And I think like that's one thing that this team is missing, like someone off the bench. And I get it, like it's still early. It's November 21st. Like this could all change in a week. It could change in 2 weeks. But just from what we've seen so far, a little bit let down with the both of them. With the both of them. So I don't know. I think everyone should be on notice. Everyone.
Is here's the $1 million question that I think you'll probably block me for a week for asking, but I'm gonna ask you anyways. Are you pushing that button in the summer for Giannis or no?
If the Knicks don't win a chip, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not. I'm
Got it.
not even thinking. I'm like I'm not even like to me,
Right.
that's a non-question. Like, and it's Giannis.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
like, like they're gonna like. I love Brunson. I love Brunson. But if you could bring in a Giannis to be your best player, like come on, like, and that's the problem. Like taking emotion out of it. Like, oh, we're not gonna. I'm not trading Cat for him. We just got Cat. Like, this is Giannis, one of the greatest big men of all time. If you could get Giannis, he probably has what 3 years left of prime Giannis. Like, if you could get that guy in the door and you're giving up Cat, now mind you, that's if we don't win a chip. If we win a chip, I'm still taking the call. If you win a chip,
Right. Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
still I'm still taking that call. But
Right.
it's like to me, it's like, yeah, it's Giannis. And I think like that's the one thing that people are just like, oh no, like I'm good with what we got. Like I'm good. Nah, I'm right at that. And it's like, okay, like you can be a fan and still like it's okay. But for me, like
Right.
I'm not even I will drive to Milwaukee. I will go get him myself.
Right.
I love Cat. Like he if the Knicks don't win a chip, like that's where we are. There's no more like make a wish, make a dream. Like we are in it for a chip, like finally. And
Right.
if Cat can't get it done, hey, tough. Those are the breaks. Like,
Right.
but yeah, but no, man, yeah, that's a non-question for me. Easy,
Okay. Okay.
easy.
That I know certain Nick fans that wouldn't pull the trigger on it because they
Why?
they like this core so much. That's why. They keep their feelings in check. They keep their feelings involved over the reality of a championship proven player who, again, I'll say that again, he's won a championship already. So I don't see how you can not bring that in and try to help you win a chip when you're right there. Like it just to me, it just doesn't
He's
make any
just
sense.
better.
But he is
Like
better
he's just
overall.
better.
Yeah.
Like like if you put him next to it's not close. Like
Right.
it's not like here we are talking about Cat being a number two. Cat can't do that. Like this is Giannis. Like
Right.
I don't know, but you have fans that'll say I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this, but then they'll crash out over a loss in October. So it's like that's why like
Right.
I don't.
Right.
It,
Right.
it doesn't make it like, oh my god, we lost to the Heat. Oh, this was terrible. And it's like, all right. Sorry,
Right.
we're not going
Exactly.
80. Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. The
But
championship
what
is
about
over.
you?
I'm doing it.
Are
Of
you
course I'm
making
doing
the
it. Are you
trade?
kidding? Are you kidding me? Giannis? What?
Thank you.
What?
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
man. Are you joking? We talk about we can't get
Hmm.
star players in here, and y'all gonna deny one somebody that's already won a championship with the team on his
Hmm.
back? Come on, man. I'm doing it in a heartbeat.
Like we did over on the two-way talk podcast, Mints and I, we did a little exercise where we compared Cat to every single number 2 in the league. And it's like that's where we are. But you're not going to compare Giannis to a number 2.
No.
Like no, like it. So it's like it's 2 tiers above like what we have now, and it's not a slight to Cat. He's great. He's one of the greatest shooting big men of all time. Whatever, but this is Giannis. Like
Hey, I would have
Giannis could
said the
never
same. I
make
would have
it
said the
3
same thing
again.
about
Like,
KD. If we would have pulled the button for KD, I would have did the KD
last year.
I would have did the
Last
KD
year?
last year. I would have did it. No questions asked.
Who
There were. Say it again.
who they have? Who would they have to give up? Like what was the report? I knew they were interested.
They were
Who would they give
interested
up
in
for
it.
KD?
Oh my god, I forgot the exact what would be the exact trade, but I do know that the Knicks name was floated around when it came to KD. Let me see. I might find that for you right now.
Yeah, I remember it.
'Cause-
Like they had conversations. Like they
Yeah.
had conversations. Well,
Let me see. CBS
I don't know, but
Sports
there's like
has it right here. Yep. Okay. So CBS Sports has it right here. Let me see. Okay. So I'll put it up right here on the Jumbotron just to kind of read it just a little bit. Just so you guys can see. Here we go. Bang. So CBS Sports says that Kevin Durant reportedly had his eyes on 3 teams as he seeks a trade away from the Phoenix Suns, the Miami Heat, Houston Rockets, and San Antonio Spurs. There was, however, reportedly a 4th team on that list, according to Mark Stein and ESPN's Mark Spears. Durant was indeed interested in joining the New York Knicks as well. The only problem, the Knicks were not interested in pursuing him. The Knicks had few plausible paths to pursue Durant, but all featured some significant hiccups. They could have built a deal around Karl Anthony Towns, which would have been fairly workable from a Caps perspective. However, Suns insider Jan Gabardo reported that the Phoenix Suns were not interested in a Towns centric trade. Okay, so again, and it says that meant just to match salary, the Knicks would have needed to include several key role players. Such a deal likely would have centered around one of their versatile forwards in OG Anunoby or former son Mikal Bridges, as well as Mitchell Robinson. So, and then obviously it goes into the whole thing in 2019 where he decided to go to Brooklyn and blah 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 blah. So,
well, you know
yeah,
what? Like I looking at it in retrospect, I'm not sure I want to make that trade with if Tibbs is going to be my coach.
right, right.
So I don't know. And at that point, you're giving up one of your younger players. I mean, KD is still good, but like if you've been watching him this year, at least early on, like he's not taking like as many threes. He's not getting to the rack. So like he has to live and die in the mid range now. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like I want to
I would
say
have did it.
yes, but
Right. I would have did it because there would have been another scoring threat, and I'm okay with giving up OG Anunoby because again, you're talking about the only thing that you're eliminating is a defense. KD don't play defense, right? But I'm willing to live with that when I know that I got a scoring threat on my team. However, to your point, he doesn't really score from the 3 as much as he used to. He lives and dies in the mid range. The reason why Houston works for him is because they're going to feed him the ball. They're going to run the offense through him. And that's what he loves the most. That's what they were doing. That's what they were mostly doing in OKC until Westbrook kind of got better. And then it was him and Westbrook. Golden State, they kind of ran the offense a little bit through him where Steph would bring up the ball and then they would try to look for him most of the time. You kind of saw that
that
a
was
little bit in
KD's
Brooklyn.
team.
Right. Exactly. You kind of saw that in
Yeah.
Brooklyn, especially because Kyrie was barely there for his personal reasons. And then you saw that in Phoenix. Obviously, he was their best player in Phoenix, and then ultimately he's playing with a bunch of young guys in Houston. So they're running the offense through him, and I think it would have been hard to try to run the offense through him with the Knicks because Jalen Brunson is your top scorer. Jalen Brunson's your captain. So it would have been like a Brooklyn situation, except you have your point guard there.
So I'm just looking at some of the comments.
Mhm.
Uh, David Smith, VP2VE. Knicks win almost all the time when they have at least 30 assists per game. Hero ball is always the losing option against good teams. I agree with that to a certain extent, but I think like in crunch time, like and this goes for any team, like you're gonna play through your guy in crunch time.
Mm.
So Brunson has to be a real point guard and captain, or get him out of here and bring in Trent. Get the fuck out of here. Bring in like so you want to down like see this is why I don't do the comment section on this stuff.
Oh man.
Like this year, like there's a reason why. See, there's a reason why Atlanta has not paid Trey Young. Like,
Thank you. Thank
like,
you. Oh my
like,
God. I don't know how many conversations I have to have with people that want Trey
and
Young
the,
on this damn team.
and the thing is, Trey Young is probably a top 10 offensive player in the league, but there's a reason he has not gotten paid. There's a reason Atlanta did not want to give him the max. Like for Trey Young in Atlanta, this is a make or break season for Trey Young.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what we're talking about. And Trey Young is a chucker. Go look at some of his efficiency years from previous years. He's hurt this year. When he gets back, you think Jalen Johnson's going to, hey, let me just chill out. No, like this is a make or break season for Trey Young. I'm in Atlanta, so I'm not. Brunson has to be a real point guard. How many real point guards are in the NBA right now? The dude that just won MVP, SGA, how many points per game did he average?
Right.
How many points? You
Right,
go look
exactly.
at Tyrese Halliburton, who was favored in that series, which we should have won if we had a better coach. So, like, where is this real mythical point guard in the NBA? They don't exist anymore. They don't exist. So, granted, yes, you're gonna have a guy, Brunson. Who cares? He has to be a real point guard. Like, what do we, David? You're probably a nice guy. Probably a nice guy. But that ain't it. That ain't it. And he goes, Towns field goal attempts are down this year, and Brunson field goal attempts are up. In Cat's first year, Knicks make ECF, and Cat is All NBA and All Star starter. Even when he is not having his best night, he still rebounds, assists, and is a presence most defenses must respect. And that's why they put a small guy on him.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Knicks without him would be much worse. Critics and haters of him will miss him if he's traded. Traded for who? If he's
For
traded for
who?
like again, Dave, you're probably a nice guy. I hope you like, share this video. I hope you subscribe. You're leaving comments, so I hope you're subscribed to the show. But we got to go back to the drawing board on that one because that one is not it. And this is the problem. Like you say, Trey Young, like, and the Knicks have at least 36 per game. They win almost all of the time. The thing is, the 30%, I'm going, this is our freestyle off the top. 30 assists per game is not always the barometer to winning games. If you go back to last year or year before, when Brunson got hurt, when Brunson missed like a month, the first game the Knicks had was against Memphis. They had 30 assists and lost by 20. Right. So it's not about the assist, it's about how are you generating the points. Right. Like what's more important, in my opinion, than assist is a screen assist or a hockey assist. So like assist, like they're cool, fills up the stat sheet, which seems like you're pretty good at looking at. But I think it takes a little bit more than just assist, because look at what the Knicks are doing. Jalen Brunson, and I wish Cleveland Glass wasn't down right now, but his assist percentage is up. His assist usage is up. The shots that he makes this year are being assisted on more this year than last year. So like if you're gonna look at that, you have to look at everything. Like you look at OG. Is his assist up? Look at Bridges. Is his assist up? So like how many point guards in the league are doling out assist? You got Tyrese Halliburton, and you have the guy you mentioned, Trey Young. Who's the better
Right.
player of those three? Like
Right.
if you want to tell me that Halliburton's better, I'll listen to it. But Trey Young, no. And we just had this conversation. Like Jalen Brunson is the best point guard sized point guard. So like if you're looking at any point guards in the league that are 6'3", 6'2", or under, Jalen Brunson is better than all of them.
Right.
All of them. Like you put Trey Young on this team is worse. You want to talk about if you trade Cat, we're worse. If you replace Trey Young with like, you know who will love that trade? Atlanta. Atlanta will love that trade.
Oh, they would
Sorry,
do
but
it
I
in a
know this.
heartbeat. They would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Atlanta will love that trade. Like, come on.
Yeah,
What do
they would
we
do it in a heartbeat.
like?
Last
Like
question.
this guy Brunson. Oh,
Mhm.
go ahead, bros. I was
No,
sit
no,
here
go ahead.
forever.
Go
But
ahead. You
oh,
good. You good. You good.
no, like the thing is, like Jalen Brunson does like what's asked of him. So,
Right.
like, did he shoot too much last year? Maybe. Did he dribble too much last year? Maybe. But you know what? That was the offense.
Right.
Like, I don't see how you can come in this year and complain about the way that Brunson is playing. He's what, ninth in
Right.
the league in scoring? Where if he wanted to, he could be top five. If he
Right.
wanted
Right.
to. So, like, and if you watch how he plays, if he's not bringing the ball up, Brunson is running to the corner. Like you want to talk about all NBA. This guy was an MVP candidate. He's willingly running into the corner for like, come on, man. You got to be
Right.
better
Right.
than that.
No, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And I don't disagree with one thing you said. The last thing that I want
But
to
please subscribe to my boy's show, man.
appreciate that. Last thing that I want to ask you before we end it off here. We got a rematch against the Orlando Magic, and for those of you that remember, Orlando came into the Garden and kicked our ass, and it was not pretty. So now we go down to MSG Orlando, and we get a chance to get some revenge. What did you find wrong in that game? And what is your prediction going into tomorrow's game for a second chance?
That was the game that Brunson got hurt, right?
Yep.
Was that against? Yeah. So with the Orlando, it's a weird team. It's a weird situation, and they're playing at MSG South, so I'm not really too concerned about that game. One thing I am interested in seeing is it's getting kind of interesting with Diawara, where 2 games ago he played a minute, and in a minute he had a steal, block, and assist. The other game he played 90 seconds, came in, had a block, played some, and I'm like, okay, like there's something there, like with this kid. Orlando would be a good team because they have some bigger bodies on there in the front court, and we don't have OG. So I'm kind of wondering like what Mike Brown is thinking against that team. But I don't know. I think that team's going to be a cakewalk. Like you have shout out to Sean with the W, where
My guy.
you have Ben Carroll, which is Julius Randle with better marketing, better
Right.
like
Right. Right.
that's
Right.
all
Right.
that is.
Right.
And if you go back to last year, it was the first game that the Magic came into the Garden, and it was a playing game, and it was a big game because the Knicks were getting like out muscled, out physical that game, and I think they lost like 2 in a row, and then they you have Magic coming in, and the Knicks kicked their ass. So like with this Orlando team, I'm not worried about this team, bro. Do you have any concerns about them?
Not really. Especially because they got that wake up call against them 2 weeks ago at the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
You found out what they're made of. You saw what they can do against you on both ends of the ball. They obviously are a bigger team. They give you a little bit of size, right? They know how to isolate the opponent's best player. If you kind of saw that, and again, Boncaro played like trash before he got hurt. It wasn't like he got off hot, then he got hurt in that game. No, he was playing like trash. So they obviously have guys who can score the ball, can put the ball down on the floor and go get a bucket. that doesn't necessarily need to run through their best player, which is Bunk. And that was a great comparison. He basically is Julius Randle 2.0 in a way.
He's
Like you don't
Julius Randle with better PR.
right exactly. And surprisingly, Julius Randle's having a better start to the year than Boncaro is. But at the end of the day, like I said, you know
who I'm.
Go ahead.
You know who I'm a little bit. I don't want to say disappointed in, but I thought Des Bane would have more of an impact for them. That's all.
Right.
I thought he would have been a little bit better.
I thought he would have been a little bit better, but I'm gonna cut him some slack because he's under a new system. Only thing with him is that the Knicks, if you pay attention to how that game was, they kept leaving this brother open. And every time they kept leaving him open, it was in the corner, and he shoots very, very good in the corner from 3. So if I'm Mike Brown and I can't make adjustments on that, we're gonna have an issue come tomorrow if he's lighting it up early from 3.
What do you think because like a lot of people are talking about how many open threes that we give up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the adjustment? Like, what do you think it is?
I think you gotta pressure the ball from the very top. You can't. I'd rather them beat you. I'd rather them beat you to the rim than try to get a wide open 3.
Because so you want like ADP to pressure,
right? Because this is where Mitchell Robinson plays. You can play 4 out and have your main guy stand in the middle where he protects the paint. Right? You got the rest of your 4 guarding a guy at the top of the 3. Now, if you get beat, not only is that on you, but at least you have rim protection, right? And of course, other guys are gonna cut, but this is where you do your job off ball and get your man and get your man to not cut, not beat you to the spot, right? Because then let's say if I'm Hart and I'm guarding my guy at behind the 3-point line, and he beats me and he cuts, right? Which means, let's say if Desmond Bane is bringing up the ball, he finds the man cut into the rim. At the end of the day, there's nothing you could do about it, right? That's 2-on-1. But if you're defending them at the 3, and it's called the 4 out, I kind of did this a little bit, where the rest of your guys are guarding your guys depending on where they're at. So if they're all behind the line and it's just an ISO play, then Mitch is by himself, right? Mitch is by himself. You gotta make sure you're pressuring the ball behind the 3-point line. If you're not pressuring the ball and you're giving them space behind the 3-point line, all they're gonna do is try to make adjustments and try to shoot behind the 3. The thing is, this team doesn't shoot the ball very well, and they almost shot us out the game when we played them in the Garden. To me, that makes no sense. If you're not, and the thing about it is too, every time out that Mike Brown kept making, it didn't seem like he was making adjustments to address the situation with our 3-point defense. And that was my issue with it. Again, trust me, I'm not somebody, if I have an issue with a coach, I'm gonna call you out on it. I'm not somebody that is like a coach fan or whatever, but I have to give Mike Brown his credit. The one thing that I gotta hold him accountable on, because I'm very big on accountability, is the fact that they couldn't make adjustments on pressuring the ball from behind the 3-point line when it came to Orlando. Because to me, it's like, yo, if you're coming in here and the stat sheet says that they're one of the worst teams in 3-point shooting, and yet they're shooting you out, they're making their threes, like they're killing you from the 3-point line, and you're not doing anything to adjust on that. That's a problem to me.
So I agree to a certain extent. Shout out to my guy Jay, Blood of the Panther.
Yo, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yo, you better be careful, Dave. He can try to sign you to the label. But I see you, Blood. But it is a problem. But I think it's more of an adjustment that players have to make. Because if you look at a lot of those threes, they're always coming in the weak side corner. And
correct.
And there's a lot of like over helping going on, over rotating going on. So me personally, I put that more so
on the players.
Because if you look at those corner threes, look at who's always darting out to the corner. It's usually Brunson. It's usually Cat. And I kind of put it more on them than anyone else. But then also, as far as the over helping, that's an OG problem. That's a Bridges problem. So I think it's on Mike Brown to coach them up to say, like, show them the film because we have a pretty like our guys are pretty smart. So like
Right.
you show them the film, like this is what you're doing wrong, and you have like they have to adjust because they're giving up like the defensive scheme. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's more of an execution thing rather than an X's and O's thing.
Right. Right.
What's
Okay.
what say you, blood? And what say you, blood? But yeah, yeah.
I I agree with that. Yeah. Again, I think it just takes time to adjust. I think again, watching film and being able to address little things like that, I think will make us better. Your prediction for Saturday? I'll go get this nasty team off my screen. I can't believe you wore that hat. That's disgusting.
On purpose. Like I would imagine the line. Like, I haven't looked. I could probably check. I could imagine
What do
that
you use?
line
You
for
use
the game is
FanDuel or you use
FanDuel.
FanDuel? Okay, yeah, I do the
I would
same thing.
imagine it's probably Knicks are -4.5.
Right.
And I would say Knicks are -4.5. Knicks are probably, I don't know, -180 on the money line or something like that. But yeah, do you
I'm
have the
about
lineup? I can get the lineup.
I'm about to check right. I'm literally checking right now. Let me see. Okay, so we got tomorrow. All right, yeah, where's the next? Okay, yes. So they are actually. Oh wow. Seems to me. Wow. Orlando is plus 102 right now. Money line.
Oh, so they have the game. Yeah, Knicks are -1.5. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much a wash. Um,
Look at that. Okay.
yeah, they have the over under at 229.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't see the Knicks having any trouble beating this
Tomorrow.
team.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
they shouldn't have any trouble beating this team. But like you talk about like their 3-point shooters. I mean, they have a couple guys. Now you got Wendell Carter, he's at
Mm-hmm.
43% from three. Jalen Suggs, surprising, he's at 39%.
That's
De
very
Silva's
surprising.
at 41%. So they got, but everybody after that is just like blah. But even like
Trash.
that's
Right.
Bane, like he's a good 3-point shooter, but he's at 33%. So with them, it's like you're either above league average or you're below league average. There's nobody that's
Right.
just like a mediocre shooter
So it's
on
like a
that
hit or
team.
miss with that team, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like looking at their shooting splits, like they do really well at the rim.
Right.
Really well
Right.
at the rim.
Very well. And again, like I
Uh,
said, they got size on them. So
I'm taking overs on Anthony Black. Whatever they are, I'm gonna take some overs
ooh.
on him.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that,
a 6'7" guy with no OG out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna get his way. He's definitely getting his way. He's definitely getting his way.
Mhm,
That's Knicks are gonna have to find an answer for him. But
mhm.
yeah, man, I predict the Knicks win tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a little bit tougher, just because, like I said, that's a team that the Knicks seem to have trouble with in terms of size
The
and
physicality.
your physicality, agility, athleticism. I think that we'll see what the presence that Mitch brings into the table.
Who's your player to watch?
In terms of the Knicks or the Magic.
Either one.
For the Knicks, it would have to be Brunson, only because on Wednesday's game they kind of, even though he scored 31 points, it wasn't easy 31 points. They kind of gave him trouble. They were pressuring the ball.
He was going for it in the first half.
Yeah,
Brunson.
right, exactly. You could kind of see he didn't want to pass the ball.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
like,
going
I'm
for it.
gonna go get mine. Part of that was also too because guys weren't moving. It was a
Mhm.
stagnant. It was the offense was stagnant, and Brunson was like, listen, if y'all not gonna move, I'm not gonna pass y'all his ball. If y'all not gonna do nothing off ball, so I'm gonna just go get mine. Um, in terms of Orlando, it would have to be Anthony Black, actually,
Yeah,
because
it's
like you said,
that's
I think because of OG not being in there, that
mhm.
is where I think he'll probably feed. Like he'll probably to me it won't be surprising if it's a Anthony Black game for him where he just goes off, but everybody else is quiet. Like that's I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if it goes that way for Orlando.
I'm going Anthony Black. For the Magic, For the Knicks, I'm going Cat. Cat struggles with physicality,
Right.
and that's the Magic's calling card. So I want to see how he responds to that physicality tomorrow.
Right. Okay. Well, like I said, I predict the Knicks win. My guy, I appreciate you being here with me, dude. Taking out
It
the
was
time to
fun,
just join
man.
the show. Yeah, man. I
You got
love
to have
having
me more
conversations.
often, man.
Bro, I'm starting to do these. I do these after every game.
You know what
Every
we
game.
should do, man? We should do a home and home. I'm on your show, then you come on our show.
Let's do it. Let's set it up. Let's
Blood,
get it
Jay.
rolling. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah, man,
Set
we'll
it
do
up.
that.
Set it up. But my guy, I appreciate you. Everybody that tuned in, appreciate y'all watching. Make sure y'all like, follow, share, and subscribe to the Top Bunk Sports YouTube channel. Make sure y'all follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Top Bunk Sports. Make sure you follow my guy Bully at I-95 Bully on X, and make sure you guys follow the Two-Way Podcast.
Project Arc Sports.
Yes, make sure you guys give them a follow, show them some love, man. Dope content. I enjoyed a lot and very knowledgeable. It's all about the culture, and that's what they bring to the table. So please show them some love and give them a follow. With that being said, I will catch you guys on episode 11 coming out soon, very, very soon. Should be out probably by Monday once Saturday's game is done. But with that being said, appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.